Hello, beautiful. Yes, I am talking to you. Are you a wife that has questions about your husband's sex drive? Have you heard things that you just go, I don't know if that's true or not? Well, tonight on Wife Life with Gail, I am going to answer some of your questions. I have 7 answers about a man's sex drive.
We're bringing sexy back. We're bringing sexy back.
Let's get it started. Harder, won't you give it up? What you embody.
And again, thank you so much for joining me here tonight on Wife Life with Gail. I am here every single Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And thank you again so much for joining me. So do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and do me another favor and hit the little bell right next to it so you can get notifications every single time that I go live right here on my YouTube channel. And again, thank you so much for joining me. And so tonight I want to talk to you about the 7 truths about a man's sex drive. The 7 truths. Because there's so much information out there, and I'm sure you and your girlfriends have talked about it. I'm sure you have questions about it. And as a licensed sexologist, I want to give you truths, okay? And when you come to my channel, you're going to get the truth. You're going to get candid conversation. You're going to get answers to your questions. So, again, thank you so much for joining me. And so let's get right into it. The first question that I get a lot is, Gail, do men think about sex all day long? Well, let me answer that question. Let's just look at a 16-hour period. If a man was to think about sex all day long in a 16-hour period, and I know there's 24 hours in a day, but you got to give him some time to sleep, right? If he was to think about sex in a 16-hour period, that would be over 8,000 thoughts about sex. There would be no way that he could literally function with that on his brain in the 16-hour period. The truth is that men usually have around 19 thoughts about sex throughout the day. And it could be something that he's seen, it could be a magazine picture, it could have been something that he experienced last night with you, it could be something that he's thinking about that he wants to do to you when he gets home. Whatever that thought is, but on average, it's only 19 thoughts a day, right? And so the answer is no, they don't think about sex all day long, but do they think about sex on a daily basis? The answer is yes. Okay. Number two, men masturbate more than women. Men masturbate more than women. That is a true statement. 69% of men masturbate more than women, which average around 49%, right? So that is a big disparity. So the answer, that is true. Men do enjoy masturbating more than women, okay? Number three, men usually take 2 to 7 minutes to orgasm. That also is really a true statement, but let me give you some precursors to why that is a true statement. I did a study on the sexual response cycle. So I would admonish you to go visit that video and look at the total sexual response cycle. But as you know, men are like microwaves and women are like ovens, right? It takes us a total different time to be able to get to orgasm. But when you look at the sexual response cycle, there's excitement, there's plateau, there's orgasm, and then there's resolution. And men tend to move through that sexual response cycle a lot quicker than women do. So the answer is yes, they do orgasm most of the time within 2 to 7 minutes. If you can go as if a man can go longer, he has really disciplined himself. He has learned to slow down. He has learned to breathe. He has learned to do a lot of these things to keep himself from orgasm so quickly. Okay. But the average is 2 to 7 minutes. Okay. And so that answer is absolutely true. And it takes women from anywhere to 10 to 20 minutes and sometimes longer to reach orgasm because, again, we go through the sexual response cycle a lot slower. Okay? Question number 4. Men are less romantic than women. This is also true based on his upbringing, the respect that he has for you, and making your wishes and your dreams come true, how he is in his marriage, if he feels respected, if he feels honored, if he feels loved, if he feels trusted, if he feels all of those things, he is 10 times more willing to romance you and make you feel special. So if you have a man that is struggling with romance, you need to really look at what you're doing and how you're treating him outside of the bedroom. And I know I'm going to get some emails, I know I'm going to get some messages, but it is true. Romance is something that is cultivated. It is something that someone needs and wants to do for you. And if they feel that it's not a give and take thing, if they feel it's not important to them, if they didn't see it done on a consistent basis, if you have not laid the path for them to want to romance you, that is a reason why you might be struggling in that area in your relationship and in your marriage. Number 5, testosterone determines a man's sex drive. This is also true, right? A man's testosterone level is at the highest in the mornings, so he might be wanting to play and engage in more sexual activities in the morning because as he rests, of course, the body restores, and so his testosterone level is at the highest level in the morning and it decreases throughout the day. Why do men lose their libido? Now, this can vary in so many different ways, but I'm going to give you some really quick bullet points. And again, I have covered a lot of this stuff in a lot of other videos, but also I have covered it in Let's Talk About Sex Part 1, which you can also get on my website. Why do men lose their libido? It's low testosterone levels, medications, high blood pressure, diabetes, all of these different kind of things can make a man's libido low. But I will tell you this, I don't care how old a man gets, he never loses his libido completely. Even if he has had some medical issues like prostate cancer, any of damage to his genitals, any of those things, it might be lowered, but it absolutely never goes away. So he will always be frisky. He will always want to touch on you. He will always want to do those things. So if you ever are questioning a man's sex drive, my prayer is that I have answered some of those questions that you and your girlfriends probably have been pondering but never really got the correct answers for. And if you have more questions for me, make sure that you comment below. I will always get on here and answer your questions. Again, thank you so much for joining me tonight here on Wife Life with Gail. I again here every single Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have an amazing, amazing night.
We're bringing sexy back. We're bringing sexy back.
Let's get it started. Harder, won't you give it up? What you want, body?